Chris. Thank you. Internet of Things devices present, including potential attacks on other systems. Dr. Fu, it appears that one of the reoccurring problems identified in your testimony is the use of insecure operating systems, which are actually easier to infect and target for distributed denial of service attacks. Have you seen industry react to these issues and move forward more stable operating systems? And are there impediments to making such a switch?
I have seen industry move to better operating systems, but like most communities, there's a wide distribution. There's a leader, there's maybe not the leader. I still see Windows XP, which is a decades-old operating system in critical systems. There's a photograph of one Windows XP system in a water treatment facility in Michigan in my testimony, controlling water pumps for the city. Windows XP is susceptible to the last decade of already released malware. It doesn't take anyone more than a kid in their basement to be able to cause a problem. It hasn't happened because no one's wanted it to happen. It's all about the economics. Certainly on the high-end devices like linear accelerators, for example, or radiation therapy devices, you're talking multi-million-dollar machines. Certainly when a hospital buys a new device, they're more likely to get a new operating system because it just comes with a new system. However, most hospitals have capital equipment costs, and they don't want to have to buy a new MRI or whatnot every 10 years. You know, it should last 20 or 30. This is why you'll still see Windows 95 machines, you'll see Windows 98 machines, the year's important, in hospitals, because when they go to the manufacturer saying, hey, we really want to have an operating system that we can keep secure, they'll say, oh, sure, just why don't you buy a whole new machine? And so there was this unwritten assumption that the software would be maintained. It may not have been written into the agreement, but the healthcare community felt that it should have been kept secure, kept maintained, but from the manufacturing standpoint, it was, we've provided you this device.
Thank you. Reports show that many devices used in the October attack were situated overseas. While some seek to regulate devices in our own country, how do we protect ourselves from devices that are outside the U.S.? Oh, Dr. Fu, and then if someone wants to chime in, that's okay too.
Let me just comment briefly, and I'll let my fellow witnesses opine. I think the important thing about computer security is not to be able to put yourselves in a secure environment, but you need to be able to tolerate an insecure environment. We're never going to be able to make networks, blissful places full of rainbows. The networks are always going to be hostile, so we need to make sure that whatever we put on there is going to be able to tolerate malicious traffic. DDoS attacks, however, are extremely hard to defend against because they cut at the core of where we are least prepared, and that is high availability.
Anyone else want to comment on that?
So it's two things. I think that U.S. regulation, especially if it's U.S. and Europe and some more major markets, can cause a new environment which raises the tide for everybody, because companies are not going to make two devices. They're just going to make one device and sell it. So we can make a difference with us in like-minded countries, like we can in so many other industries. But Dr. Fu is correct that we can't assume ever a benign environment, that it's going to be a combination of making the devices that we can touch more secure, which means the integrated devices are more a minority, and then building infrastructure controls to secure against this malicious minority, and it'll always be that.
Thank you. Sir, do you want to comment quickly? Because I have one more question.
I was just going to say that we have a fundamental belief of ensuring that we can try to route packets on the backbone that are based on reputation. So the more that businesses and backbones can collaborate together on data and route traffic based on reputation, I think the better prepared we're going to be.
Thank you. One of the biggest concerns for Dr. Fu, one of the biggest concerns of future distributed denial of service attacks is the potential impact on hospitals and their patients. We already know that hospitals are targets in other areas such as ransomware hacks. Question for Dr. Fu, how can hospitals best protect themselves from these threats in their current technology, and should industry prioritize the healthcare sector in preventing current cyber threats?
Right. Well, in the short term, hospitals are in a sticky place. There's not a whole lot of mitigating solutions. So the best medicine I can recommend for hospitals right now is to really know their inventory of medical devices. I saw some discussion yesterday in a DHS report about a bill of materials of software. Hospitals don't even know what software is running on the inside of their facility because the manufacturers don't know themselves what are on those medical devices. If we only knew what was on the medical devices, we could better understand what risks we are taking.
Thank you very much. I yield back, Mr. Chairman.